If it weren't for you, I'd still be falling asleep to the screams of the criminally insane! It's Gotham, baby! We all have flair! Welcome to Legends of Gotham, where we talk about Fox's hit series Gotham, set in the world of Batman. I'm Bill Meeks.
And I'm Anne-Marie DeSimone.
And we are back for a Gotham-y, Gotham-esque, Gotham So Gotham-y, I can scarcely believe it.
That's so Gotham.
That is so Gotham. And by the way, baby, as usual, we're joining you at 8:30 p.m. EST on Tuesday night, the night after Gotham airs, at live.universebox.com with all our lovely chatters like Mayor McPangy Pants, Jimbo, and
Win just joined the chat room.
And Win. So hi guys. One little note. Me and Anne-Marie are actually going to see a postmodern jukebox concert next Tuesday night. So next Tuesday night
is actually going to be next Wednesday night.
Yeah, we won't be here Tuesday.
We won't be here.
You can come hang out and
chat.
We'll
let you know. There will be signs.
But yeah, so we're going to be a day late on our Gotham podcast.
Might be $1 short. Who knows?
Definitely $1 short for sure. But Anne-Marie, you had a little something you wanted to talk about too before we got started, right?
We also have a little something going on. It's called Universe Box, the survey.
Dun, dun, dun.
We realized that we've never formally asked our listeners, like, what do you listen to of ours? What do you like? What do you want us to just stop doing? Like, please stop singing X, Y, and Z. So we put together a little survey. It's only 10 questions. Promise it won't hurt. But if you go over to bit.ly/UB survey, you can answer those questions for us. Yeah. And we'd really appreciate it. We're probably going to leave it going for like another week, and then we will adjust accordingly. Yeah, and we've only promoted this on social media, and we've already got a lot of good reactions. We got 15 reviews or people who participate, and you know what? That's pretty impressive for a survey. I think probably the most powerful feedback we got was that, Patreon's good and everything, but we don't necessarily want to give you something every month. Could you put a PayPal button on your website? So all the websites now have a PayPal button. So if you have an extra $20, but you don't know if you're going to have $20 next month, go ahead. If you want to donate to the cause to help us keep making great podcasts like this one, Legends of Gotham, Please do. That'd be awesome. We'd appreciate it. Absolutely. Okay, so enough chitter chatter, enough blibble blabble. Anne-Marie, why don't we get started with the rhyming, riddling episode summary? Who is the monster that got in Jim's mind? The man whose advances his sister declined. Is Yanni Bruce the destined Dark Knight? He's immune to pain and willing to fight. Will Penguin win with financial's incentive? Will Ed prove he's worthy by being attentive? Is Alice's fall really that surprising? A fall through the window brings a new day rising. New day rising! Wow. Anne-Marie, what'd you think? Loved it! You did? Loved it! Well, I think you were saying... I think you were saying earlier that, it was one of those episodes that you were just so enamored with, you weren't quite sure what to say. I wasn't sure what to say. I was just like, I would write a character and I would go, loved it. And then I'm like, that's not a point, Anne-Marie. That's a statement. That's not a point. So I apologize for some really rambly ones, but that's what you get this week. Yeah, but the better it is, the harder it is to narrow down what you want to talk about. Yeah. So I really liked it too. But by the way, Bobby in the chat room says, "Who would want you to stop singing?" Who indeed? But okay, let's go ahead. I'm letting him take a solo on that one. Let's go ahead and start talking about this episode. The first thing I want to talk about is the Hatter's Mad Tea Party. First of all, I love this setting. An amusement park works so well as a supervillain lair / setting for a final battle. The park itself and the way Jervis disposes of the previous owner reminds me a lot of The Killing Joke, which we watched over the summer. Yes, we did. We have a review of that up. Yeah, definitely over on this feed, right? On Legends of Gotham. Yes, it was over here. Yeah, we reviewed the animated movie and Batgirl and Batman making out and stuff. But no, I absolutely loved the setting. It was just amazing. It really looked like there was another villain that should be there. Like a jokester. Somebody who might go, ha 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 ha. Yeah. But that was a really bad one. Well, like I said, it just reminded me so much of The Killing Joke. Right. It was a little crazy. But, comics aren't the only illusions that were made in this episode. There were lots of Alice in Wonderland references, too, obviously. Obviously. Well, first of all, the Mad Hatter. Duh. Then the Tweedles or the Tweeds or whatever. The Tweedle brothers. Yeah, there was I just call them the Tweedles.
Yeah, they called them a couple different things in the episode too. So the luchador wrestlers who were Mad Hatter's henchmen in the episode,
and there was 5 of them versus 2.
Yes.
So that threw me off because I don't know anything about the Tweedles.
Yeah, I did a little because I knew the Golden Age and Silver Age versions of these characters where they were really they were their own gang. They weren't really associated.
See, that's what I thought. I didn't think they were like a thing, but
yeah, they weren't associated with the Mad Hatter to begin with. But in the New 52, they're pretty much exclusively associated with the Mad Hatter. Like back in the day. They generally what would happen is Batman would be fighting them and he'd think they were the henchmen. Then it would turn out they were the masterminds of the whole plot.
Oh.
But now they're kind of just the Mad Hatter's lackeys. And that's the version I think they're going with here. I really loved the luchador motif, though.
Yes.
Up to and including Harvey's interrogation where he's like, I will give your brother a bad funeral by burning his mask.
I will ruin his funeral.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And Bobby in the chat room points out that they were Dumfrey and Deaver Tweed.
Which is just weird because there was 5 of them.
There were 5 of them, but I think the main 2 were the one that I think it was the 2 that ended up with Mad Hatter at the end of the episode.
Were those 2? Dumfrey and Deaver?
Dumfrey and Deaver.
Dumfrey and Deaver Tweedle.
It sounds like an 80s pop punk band or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Dumfrey and Deaver. Okay, but there were some other Alice references too. Obviously, Stabby Babs mentions a top hat and tea when Jim comes to see her. When he, how did she put it? When he was monumentally screwed.
Yeah, he must be monumentally screwed.
Yeah, and then of course there's the Mad Tea Party itself. The tea party setting, and then Alice's dress, which I thought was really
just
good,
enough.
But just enough. Yeah,
it was. They could have taken it too far, like some other shows might. And they didn't. They knew when to hold back.
It wasn't exactly Disney, but it looked like somebody went to a thrift store wanting to dress up like Alice from Alice in Wonderland and Halloween for Halloween.
Absolutely.
So. And Bobby in the chat room says, I believe there have been multiple Dumbs in the comics as some were killed off. That's very true.
Okay.
I think there have even been multiple ones since the New 52 started. Okay. So keep an eye. I wonder if those guys are going to be back.
Jerome's in the chat room.
What do you think? do you think they're going to be back?
I think they will.
You think they will?
I think they'll be back.
Well, I'm sure the Hatter will be, if not.
Well, we know the Hatter will be because isn't he, quote unquote, the big bad of the half season at least?
Yeah. That's why it's Mad City.
That's why it's Mad City, baby. I don't know. But I do
Gotham,
think
baby.
It's Gotham, baby. I love Flair. Yeah. So they'll be back. It was like awkward transition.
Jerome does bring up a good point in the chat room, though. How about how Hugo Strange was reading Alice in Wonderland? He was, and he kind of implied that he was going to be giving some characters some assignments out of there.
And I actually had questions about that because so he was creating and he had that Alice in Wonderland book, but obviously Jervis already existed.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point,
as far as we know.
No, definitely as far as we know.
I mean, that's what Alice said, but we don't know if we can completely trust Alice because, I mean, if she was influenced by Strange, he could have given her this whole backstory. He could have given them both a whole backstory that doesn't match what she was talking about in this episode.
That's a great segue into my point here.
You wanted to talk about Alice,
that's actually exactly what I would like to talk about. Oh, Alice, we hardly knew you. I would really love to know the full story behind these two, which is sort of what we're talking about. What was their childhood? What happened to make Jervis the way he is and have such this inappropriate attachment to Alice? Mm-hmm. And how long was the manipulation and the abuse occurring before Alice was able to escape? If that really happened. Yes. I didn't even think about... I actually hadn't even thought about the fact that maybe if it really happened... Yeah. Because most of the monsters believed whatever Strange told them. Mm-hmm. So there's that.
Yeah, I also have some theories about how the Mad Hatter might have come to be, but I'll save those for later on.
Okay. Well, with the allegations of abuse that she made against Jervis, it's very surprising that he isn't infected from her blood. Mm-hmm. Maybe he has some sort of immunity to it since they are blood relatives to the best of our knowledge.
Interesting theory.
I mean, it just feels like if it was abuse of some sort, scratching, attacking, smacking, biting, clawing of some sort is going to happen. So I imagine anybody attacking me, they're going to get... I'm taking them down. So there will be blood.
There will be blood.
But, okay, so how did she actually... Again, like, all my entire point is sort of, like, blown out of the water with your whole, if any of this actually happened. But how did she escape from Jervis to get to Gotham?
It was all a dream.
Right? It's all a dream sequence now.
Jervis was actually sleeping next to Suzanne Plachette the whole time.
So she said that she was hiding in Gotham before Strange captured her. Now, I totally get why he would want to capture her and utilize her blood.
Yeah.
But how did he know to find her and find her? I feel like it has something to do with the Court of Owls. You know why? Court of Owls rules all.
You know what another possibility is that, you know, Strange just had all those bodies lying around that he'd got. Maybe Alice was dead. Maybe she was killed shortly after she got to Gotham or something. Oh. And maybe he just...
brought her back?
She was in like the 12-pack of bodies that Strange brought down to Indian Hill. And... You know, and he just happened to revive her and had the Alice book there. Yeah. I could see that happening. Right? Anything over in the chat room, Amber?
Let's see. I think we're blowing Bobby's mind. Yes, I believed Alice, but who's to say? Mind blown!
Yes.
So, Mayor McPenky Pants says, who do you believe? Who do you trust? Alice or Jervis or Strange? You know what? I'm not believing any of them.
Nope.
No. And I really wanted to trust and love Alice until, you know... hole in the theory.
Yeah. Sorry for blowing a hole in your theory.
You know, it's cool. I should be used to it by now because my theories are not very awesome.
That's what I do. I believe over the summer, a listener called me Nostradamus.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk. Let's switch gears here. We've talked a lot of Mad Hatter, Alice, the gang.
And the rest.
Let's talk about our normal crew of misfits here.
Normal.
And let's talk about being the Ed Penguin needs. Okay, so Ed's confidence has definitely grown, especially when it comes to Oswald. His actions in this episode are bold and decisive. A far cry from season 1 and 2, Ed. I mean, season 2 he was coming around, but then he got thrown in Arkham, and it was like, But
then he had time to himself to think.
He did.
And process.
Okay, but, you know, in this episode, like any good underling, Ed realizes that what Penguin wants, an easy win for the election, isn't exactly what he needs, which is love and the acceptance of people. While Butch is a yes man with eyes on carving out his own piece of Penguin's empire, I thought it was interesting how Butch got a little shady and a little hubristic in this episode. Because as I said on Twitter when we were live tweeting, you know, Butch doesn't make a good boss. He makes a really good henchman.
Yes.
You know?
And you should know that by now because he's tried like 3 times, which I will talk about more later.
Yeah, every time he tries to be a boss, he fails. You know, but Ed sees himself more as Penguin's partner and knows that in order to get there, he needs to do more than just say yes. He needs to give Penguin what he needs, not necessarily what he wants. Now, Ed earns his place as Penguin's partner, although an acceptance speech seems like a really odd place to announce who your chief of staff is going to be.
Yes, but they don't do anything normal. It's Gotham, baby. Like, we don't do anything normal.
Plus, it kind of condenses it down. You get that big reveal.
Seeing as how the election was a whole, like, week, that first of all, can we get that in reality? Because I'm done. But you know, like I actually assumed that this was gonna stretch out over at least like 2 or 3 episodes. You know, get a little jab here, a little jab there.
Yeah.
You know, maybe actually get a political ad of some sort from one or both of them.
But it was a quick election, though, which I guess, you know, municipal elections and things like that, especially when they're called
out for. Yeah.
They're started like this one was, kind of go pretty quickly.
Yeah, I guess they had to.
But, you know, back to Ed.
Sorry.
What will he do with his newfound power as was it a chief of staff or
yes,
deputy
he's
mayor?
Chief of staff.
Is he really committed to Penguin like it appears, or does he have other plans and this was the smartest way to get there?
Ding, 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 ding. He totally has other plans, but I think he's going to ride on the Penguin's coattails for a little while. Definitely. Just the way he did in the GCPD. Like, he laid low. He did what he needed to do to get by with a little bit of his own stuff here and a little of his own stuff there. And I think that's what we're going to get now. We're already really seeing that by him taking back all of the money without telling anybody and paying off the little girl to, like, smash Penguin's self-esteem for a second.
I totally thought that little girl was getting killed.
Oh, I know. She was precious.
I definitely, though, it's interesting, though, because season 1, Ed was Penguin fanboy. Season 2, there was some affection there and a little bit of an odd couple thing going on. And now Ed seems almost cold to him in a way. I mean, obviously he's doing things that benefit Penguin, but I just feel like there's something underneath the surface kind of fueling that.
Yeah.
It's not surprising, though, that Penguin wins the mayorship in Gotham. Gotham is mostly criminals, and they all apparently vote as...
that is pretty impressive.
The guys in the Bang Bang room.
The Bang Bang room.
The Bang Bang room said to Kat that they were all like pulling for Penguin. Penguin thought the decent people would vote against him, but there aren't that many decent people left in Gotham.
No, and really, like, over the past 2 years, what have we really seen from Mayor James? He's had his head in a box, and he lost the last election to Gallivan. Actually, he wasn't even there. Gallivan took the last one, so...
Yeah.
I mean, so they've been going without a mayor since Gallivan died? I think. Maybe. I don't really know.
Well, I think before Gallivan died, or slightly before.
Right around there. I don't know. Either way, it's weird. And this election should have happened 6 months ago.
Over in the chat room, Jerome says, what about how Gotham took the Batman Returns road by making Penguin mayor? That is a plot point from Batman Returns. It definitely... There's a lot of pulling from Batman Returns in Gotham, for sure.
Mayor McPengy Pan says, weird gifts are given. The sanity certificates, which I thought was
signs
really...
of affection.
It was precious. They were, framed. They're going to be hung in their offices.
Yeah, and a couple people are saying that, Butch are saying that Ed may be manipulating Penguin. Ed is going to throw Penguin under the bus at some point, so a lot of people agreeing with that. And Jerome also says the new episodes are going to be called Fall of the White Rabbit and the Red Queen, so it looks like the Hatter is far from over.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Well, did they catch him?
No, they didn't catch him. He got away at the end.
Yeah, it's far from over if you don't get caught. And you know what? Even if you do, story ain't over. But another person who caught and released, kind of. I don't know. I'm not good at the transitions. So I don't know why I was created, but I know I don't belong in Gotham. Yeah.
Yanni Bruce.
You do, Yanni Bruce, though. You actually completely 100% do belong in Gotham. But at what capacity? That's the question. So I have a love-hate relationship with a theory floating around that Yanni and Bruce are going to work together, with Yanni being the Batman and Bruce being, Bruce Wayne.
Real Bruce being the Robin, maybe.
I don't like that. I like that even less.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense with what we've seen from them so far, but I don't think real Bruce is going to let that all happen.
No,
at
definitely
all.
not.
So there's that. Now, we have the Owl Lady and the Court of Owls are behind the creation of Yanni Bruce. Shocker. Shocker.
Nobody guessed it.
Nobody knew that was coming. Nope, not at all. But the question is, what do they really want to do with him? Are they going to use him to trick the citizens of Gotham? Is it even going to work? Will he do it willingly? Because I could see the trick working for a little while, just like it did with Selena. But then there's going to be... He doesn't have the backstory. He doesn't have... Strange wasn't able to implant all of the backstory for him to know. Even the clay-faced Jim Gordon knew a little more than this guy.
Yeah, he's really just a blank slate.
He is. He's just like a dude who knows the name Bruce Wayne. Now, I feel like after spending a few days with Bruce kind of in the life and all that... He's not really going to do this job willingly. That's part of the reason he was trying to leave.
Yeah.
He wants out of Gotham. He's like, you know what? No, I'm good.
Not my kind of town.
Not my tea. Not my cup of tea. But
another Alice reference. Go ahead.
You're welcome. That's what it was there for. But I don't think he's going to want to impersonate him, especially because they now have that relationship. So I think this is going to be interesting, especially since they dragged him into a car.
Yes.
Right there, he's not going to want to do it willingly. Like if they'd have just said, "Hey, we need you to do a thing," he might have been a little bit more receptive. Just saying.
Yeah, and I have some thoughts on Yanni Bruce coming up, including a name change. But we do have a couple things in the chat room here. Badass Yanni Bruce and things of that nature. Very true. He is a total badass. But before we move on with all that stuff, we wanted to tell you a little bit about our Patreon. Anne-Marie, what is Patreon?
Patreon is a way for you to help support our podcast.
Okay. Good.
Sorry, it was the way you asked. I was like, I feel like this is what I need to. No, but Patreon is a way for you to help make a monthly donation towards all of our show. Legends of Gotham, Universe Box, We're So Lost. And it just, it helps keeps the lights on, keeps us chugging along and putting out new and better content, which is what we're really aiming to do. Remember, go take the survey, bit.ly/UB survey.
And you know what? I think that's probably good. One thing is is that we do give certain bonuses for certain support levels. The most important of them is the $5 Star Patrons Club, where we will read your name on every episode of every podcast we do if you give $5 or more per month. We have a bunch of people who have done this, and they've all written us personally and said that the opposite sex or the same sex, if depending, find them very attractive. They're jogging much longer than they used to. Their acne has cleared up, and all because they're a member of the $5 Star Patrons Club. We want to thank all of you guys right now: Jason Ritter, Becca Baca, Angel, Kelsey, Monica Jones, Sage of Earth, Harry Seidler, Timothy Peters, Lisa Babick, Karen Horlatcher.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
Hey,
and
what's up, Karen?
Hope Molinak. So we love all of you guys. Thank you for being members of the $5 Star Patrons Club.
We love you. We love you.
You're gonna live forever. If you want to become a member of the $5 Star Patrons Club, patreon.com/universebox.
And remember to think outside.
Okay, next up, before we get back to the main discussion.
Another next up.
It's time to
look at this Joker. Look at this Joker. I had a Joker.
Look at this Joker, where we look at the references, clues, Easter eggs, outright appearances of the Joker on Gotham. We've been doing this since season 1, episode 1, the pilot, with the awkward comedian up on stage.
I loved it.
And
Laszlo, we knew him so little.
This is a very long page at legendsofgotham.com. Just click look at this Joker up at the top. And while there wasn't really a good Joker reference in the episode itself, we saw David, who plays Bruce on Gotham, and Yanni Bruce. He put this out on his Instagram I think
during the episode.
Yeah, during the episode.
Or right before. It was like right around 8 o'clock.
It looks like Yanni Bruce standing in front of that Joker graffiti we've been seeing around the show. And he says, a Gotham favorite villain may be coming back to Gotham on Fox sooner than
anticipated.
Sooner than you think.
Dang, I got it wrong.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get some Jerome sooner rather than later.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be this half.
Yeah, definitely. But
I thought it was going to be last night, the way that, since the timing.
Yeah, because he put it out right out on Front Street. But, it's going to be interesting. We might have some more updates.
Jerome just quit the chat room.
Oh, no! He's off to Gotham.
He's off to Gotham.
But join us next week for as we look at this Joker. Sorry, guys. We were a couple minutes late getting into the show.
We're all thrown off.
I kind of feel like we're still getting into the show, but bear with us. It's a little bit of an off week, but we're still being entertaining, hopefully. Okay, so I have a pronouncement here.
No.
Okay, hey, I am the one who came up with this name, so I am the one who can change it.
I'm not following your rules.
Yanni Bruce is dead.
No.
Long live Batty Bruce.
No.
Batty Bruce.
No.
No, come on. The copy of Bruce Wayne in this episode, who we formerly called Yanni Bruce.
And I think we've converted a lot of people in the family to call it Yanni Bruce.
But he cut his hair. It feels like it's time, especially because he has a much more defining characteristic now in that he's a lot like Batman. He shares a lot of similarities with the Batman that Bruce will become. He can push through pain. He's not afraid of a fight when the odds are against him. He goes in for the kiss when appropriate.
Yeah, buddy.
And he can jump off really high stuff with no problem.
I'm really hoping that Wynn's comment of, ugh, that's dumb, is towards Batty Bruce.
It is probably for the name change, yeah. But I'm going to call him Batty Bruce for the rest of the episode anyway.
Yanni!
Okay, now some online have been saying that Batty Bruce might become the actual... I've also seen him called Deuce Wayne, which is kind of fun.
I don't like that
one. But there's been a lot of speculation that he might become the actual Batman that we know and love from the comics. But I really don't buy that.
I don't either.
Even though he shares a lot of similarities with the eventual Batman we'll come to know, I don't think that's going to be the direction they're going. I think he's going to inspire Bruce to take even bolder actions moving forward. Now, Batty Bruce says to regular Bruce in this episode, for someone who has everything, you have no idea what you actually want, or maybe you're just too afraid to take it. So I think Batty Bruce is here to show Bruce that what he could be if he let go of his fear. Because, even when Bruce has been very bold this season, like when he was facing down the Wayne board, he walks out of there. Oh, Alfred, I'm hungry. I need some pancakes.
Let's get some pancakes. Yeah.
He's walking the walk, but he doesn't really have anything backing it up.
No.
It's all bravado. So I think Batty Bruce is going to teach Bruce to let go of that fear.
Okay.
And to bring it back to a season 1 quote, fear tells you where the edge is. And for Bruce to become Batman, he needs to act like Batty Bruce does this week and just jump over the ledge and into the next chapter of his story. So I think that's the direction they're going with it. Obviously, the Court of Owls has him now and everything, so who knows what direction it's going to go. But I think that's ultimately what that storyline is going to boil down to. We'll see, though.
Okay.
Bobby in the chat room says, I do agree that Yanni should go along with the hair.
No. Yanni forever.
Okay, I want you guys to write in legendsofgotham@gmail.com and let us know if we should keep calling him Yanni Bruce or start calling him Batty Bruce.
Yanni.
It's up to you guys.
Yanni.
Okay, so you wanted to talk a little Jim and Lee, right?
All right, yeah. Let's just veer over to the side here.
Not to be confused with Jim Lee. He's a comic book artist.
Okay, I was like, I don't know who that is. So Jim and Lee, they really do want what's best for each other. Let me just lay it all out for you. Lee is able to get and process information from Alice that no one else is able to get because she is calm and talking to the girl versus interrogating her. She finds out Jervis preys on fear, anger, and regret. All things that she knows Jim has a problem with. Yeah. She's known this for years at this point. So when Lee signs off on putting Jim under a 48-hour psych hold, she has him in a position to finally tell him what she's found out. And, the statement that seems to keep resonating with him, there's a difference between moving on and letting go. And since he can't leave, he actually has to listen to her and take it in. And it's kind of refreshing. Just saying that he's actually listening to people because he's not going, and I'm on this way, and I'll take my check, and I'm stepping in front of a truck, and all that. So when push comes to shove, it's Lee's voice that helps Jim defeat Jervis's hold on his brain. Jervis tells him he wants to be free of the pain, and he's able to combine that with the information that Lee has given him to be free of the pain in a different way than had been anticipated, and that's by shooting the melodrome so that it gets the bling, it's all gone somehow. He thanks Lee and admits
metronome, you mean?
Metronome? Melodrome?
Yeah, you said melodrome.
I don't even know what that... I don't even know.
That's like a big circus tent bouncy house thing. No, it's not. I was just making that up.
I would like one of those. But he thanks Lee and admits that he's trying to be happy for her. Okay, now basically I'm laying this all out for you step by step of the episode because I love it. I think, okay, bear with me. They are having an adult relationship. What? Mm-hmm. They are able to care for each other without being together, having sick and twisted interactions, Babs, just being awesome adults. This is just such a rare thing in Gotham, people, that it had to be pointed out and displayed. Perhaps we should make a flyer and pass it out at the next Penguin rally.
I thought it was interesting that, as much as Lee and I would say Captain Barnes, too, had to do with Jim kind of overcoming this stuff. In the end, I really think it was more the Mad Hatter than anything, because Jim was happy sinking into his pain, and the Mad Hatter's therapy, hypnotherapy, sort of pushed Jim to having to confront it if he wanted to live.
Yes, but I think it was really Lee even putting in his head that no, you've got to let it go. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it was a combination of all of that. Like, the hypnotherapy was, it's a good and a bad thing, but it was, Lee that helped.
Definitely.
I'm on Team Lee, and that's not a common thing.
Jim credited Lee too, and I think any positive contributions would definitely be Lee and Captain Barnes.
Okay, fine.
But I also think that maybe the Mad Hatter was more effective than either of those positive contributions in a negative way. He put something negative out there, but it ended up having a positive effect on Jim.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, fine.
Okay, Mayor McPangy Pants asks, does anyone think that Lee's current relationship will end badly? I would assume.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Bobby and Jimbo agree.
Probably going to die. Probably
somebody going down.
Yeah, I'm not saying Lee, but
I know, but so we're going to kill a Falcone? I don't want to be the person to pull that gun.
Wouldn't be the first time, though.
No, it wouldn't.
Okay, speaking of people dying, I wanted to talk a little bit about Alice's blood drive in this episode. Okay, so Jervis constantly talks about how, and this is really how I was saying before, how I had some theories about how the Mad Hatter came to be.
Okay.
Jervis constantly talks about how Alice keeps him sane, but it's quite the opposite. So why does he think that? If her blood brings out a person's true self, as is stated several times in this episode and last episode, then maybe he got exposed to it when they were kids, which let his inappropriate feelings, those really icky things that were kind of alluded to by Alice,
talk about
the incest stuff. But
you're talking about it.
But it let those inappropriate feelings rise to the surface and kind of consume him in a way. Perhaps. And it's said in this episode that Alice is like, they're two sides of the same coin. They have similar powers, but in different directions kind of thing. But I really think, as far as he's concerned, it's not really a power. He's just really good at hypnotism and manipulation. Mm-hmm. But with how crazy he's been so far, it'll be interesting to see what he's like when he's insane, because he keeps saying Alice keeps him sane. Mm-hmm. So now that she's gone... Mm-hmm. He's going to be insane. So I wonder what level of madness will this Mad City get up to next year. Yeah, but that's kind of my... what do you think about that? That's kind of my thought on what happened to him, is that he got exposed to the blood.
I definitely... I don't know how two children could grow up in the same house and not be exposed to each other's blood. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Somebody's fallen. Somebody's like punching someone. Mm-hmm. There will be blood.
And Jimbo in the chat room says, I was surprised how much blood Alice gave up between what Lee took and Jervis took.
Okay, yeah. I was like, this is not a little amount of blood from either of them, let alone from both of them. She does need a cookie, Bobby. Bobby points out in the chat room that he was on Team Lee, but he feels like she moved on quickly, and then she tried to blame Gordon. I don't think she actually moved on that quickly, because the entire time that Jim was in jail... Yeah. He was telling her to go away, go away, go away. I'm not doing it. I just go away. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Then there was the time after he got out, before he really went looking for her, because he was trying to avoid that. So that was X amount of months.
Yeah.
And then when he finally does go, she has already moved on, which I think is completely okay. Mm-hmm. She doesn't know he was ever there. He still hasn't told her that he did go after her.
And at that point, I think it was a little too late anyway.
It was a little too late.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to tell her, kind of. Yeah. Until things go south with the Falcone.
And back to these vials of blood that that Lee and Jervis both have. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like monster juice, right? So now they... we had, the monsters being released from Indian Hill. Most of them have been taken care of, but now we just have
monster juice.
All these vials of things floating around in Gotham.
And it takes one drop.
It takes a drop. So I definitely think that we're going to see some more action from that, including with a very important character in the series, which I'll talk about later.
Coming soon. What was I going to say? Oh, did we notice whether they recovered the vials that Jervis took, or if Jervis took the vials with him?
I would assume he took
I'm sure he took.
I almost remember one of the tweeds having the little case he had all the vials in. When he grabbed him from, oh no, my sister, and he was like, boom, boom, we gotta go. I think he had. I think he had the case.
I'd assume. I thought it was curious.
Curiouser and
curiouser.
You know what else was curious?
What?
The conflict that rose between Butch and Ed in this episode.
Oh, Butch and Ed. We really didn't organize these well today, did we? So I can't wait for the Butch versus Ed showdown that we know is coming. I've loved Butch since the beginning, but he is no match for Ed Nigma, especially with the Nick Mobblepot love fest that we have going on right now, whether it's one side or not.
I would also accept Eswald.
No, Nick Mobblepot.
Okay.
Butch was the old school crew with the giant bazooka, but Ed is cunning and tricky and pretty good at dissolving corpses with acid when necessary. So as Bill has pointed out in the past and on this episode, Butch is not a leader. Every time he tries, he fails. And I truly think that's what lost him Tabby. Because she respects the leader and the power, and Butch just don't have that.
Well, yeah, she does definitely, because she attached herself to Theo, then Butch, and now Barbara.
And Barbara, I'm sorry, she's a leader.
Definitely.
She could lead a little crew of crazy girls. He either needs to accept his position as the muscle or dance off into the sunset.
Wynn in the chat room thinks that Butch should go back to Fish.
Does Butch know that Fish is still alive?
I think it's suspected, but I could definitely see that happening though, because he had a lot of affection for Fish before the whole penguin thing went down.
Yes, he did.
So I wouldn't be, especially now that he feels like he's being kind of cut out by Penguin, him going back to Fish would be pretty likely, I think. But okay, so let's see here. My last point is
let's do it.
Yeah, what day does Gotham air, Anne-Marie?
Mondays.
Mondays. Okay. And what day was Solomon Grundy born?
Rumor has it he was born on a Monday.
Like a Monday night around 8:59 p.m.?
Yeah, I think
right at the end of the episode.
I think
last
so.
night?
Yeah.
I think we've seen the birth of Solomon Grundy in Captain Barnes, and if you've been listening to the podcast, this is something I totally called weeks ago. Maybe not a year ago, but it's
been a while.
Yeah, it's been at least a few weeks I've been banging this drum, and finally people are hearing the drum beat and things are happening. Barnes with some blood to the eye, his skin goes white, he growls, sounds like Solomon Grundy to me. I hate to say it, say I called it before they reveal it, but I'm pretty sure I called it.
You love to say that you were.
I do love to say that.
Love when your theories are right. Do not lie to the people.
Obviously, moving forward, we're probably going to see this play out even more. Yeah. But the one question I had is that if the blood exposes the true self, why is Barnes a giant zombie dude, the Solomon Grundy? Or why is it going to become that? I'm thinking that, and this is something that has been implied a lot. There's this bad part of Captain Barnes that he constantly calls out during his heart-to-hearts with Jim. And I feel this is a part that he's repressed about himself, this bad, negative side. And I think that's what's going to come out in Solomon Grundy. Just this kind of cruel. I almost, I don't want to say he's going to be like Vic Mackey from The Shield, but he might be a little like Vic Mackey from The Shield, but a little dumber, But I mean, because Solomon Grundy is very much a brute. He's very, Hulk-like. He talks monosyllabically. And, he's more about the hitting than the talking and the strategizing.
Okay.
But I think if any part of Barnes' true self is going to come out in Solomon Grundy, it's going to be that part in his past that he's alluded to, but we've never really seen before.
Okay.
I mean, although I don't know, I think we've maybe seen touches of that when he gets really angry about Jim going off book,
About Jim in general? Anything Jim does?
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see, but I'm pretty confident that I totally called Barnes being Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, you did.
So,
yeah.
Born on a Monday.
Okay. So, other people of the GCPD. Mr. Harvey Bullock.
Bullock!
Have we are we at the end of the Harvey Bullock story? I hope not. We, and especially Bill, have been calling this for a while because, Bill and his crazy theories that always seem to come true. But in this episode, we actually got bits of foreshadowing, or maybe those sneaky Gotham TV writers are just trying to throw us off the trail because we're getting too good. So first we get Harvey talking about writing something on his tombstone. And then at the end, Barnes tells Bullock that Jim Gordon is going to get him killed one day. No, Gotham TV writers. I say no to this storyline. No.
You don't want Bullock dead.
No, I love Bullock and his drawer full of goodies.
Well, I don't know. Donald Logue keeps going around talking about how he wants to revive Terriers on FX. So maybe that's part of it. But I do feel, as I have felt, that Harvey is not long for this world. That he's going to be. Maybe it'll end up being like the mid-season cliffhanger or something.
That could make sense.
Or the big climax of this whole story. But we will see. But I am going to be sad when he's gone. But I totally see it going there, and I think it's going to be very impactful too.
Yeah, it will.
Although they might be getting a little too on the nose with the foreshadowing, just because keep saying he's going to die. Keep saying he's going to die. Guy's probably going to die.
Yeah.
Over in the chat room, Bobby says, Fish needs to stay away for a while. I can only handle her in small doses. Well, so can the budget of Gotham, so you're probably okay. And
especially because she's a guest now,
Yeah, and Wynn says, that's how I feel about Hatter, Bobby. Let's see. Then Mayor McPangy Pants says, once Barnes turns, this will facilitate Jim coming back to the GCPD. I definitely see that. And Bobby doesn't think that they're going to kill off Bullock.
No.
Bobby, I'm sorry you're wrong. But, it happens. Okay, so let's see here. It's time for the arbitrary scale, where we decide how we feel about this episode, come to a conclusive conclusion by me picking out some random thing in my head.
Something random. We've never heard it before.
Yeah, okay, so let's see. Out of 417 pieces of flair, Anne-Marie, how many pieces of flair do you give this episode?
I'm going to give it 400.
400.
It's a big number, so I have to have a little bit of buffer room.
And by the way, in the chat room, you can chime in
vote.
too.
Please. No, I absolutely loved it. I don't like the foreshadowing of the Harvey Bullock. I don't really know how I feel about Yanni Bruce.
Batty Bruce.
Yanni and all of that. And I really wanted Alice to stick around for a while.
Yeah.
I really thought we were going to get her for a few more episodes, so that kind of makes me sad.
Yeah, it's a little sad. It's a little sad. It's okay, though.
How about you?
Okay, well, Bobby says nice scale. Let's see. As for me, I'm gonna give it 390 pieces of flair.
Okay.
Because, well, I really liked a lot of aspects of the episode. It definitely felt like glue bridging last week's episode with next week's episode, and at times it felt a little like it was spinning its wheels to get there, especially with the Jim storyline. Like, how many times can we see him tick-tock, tick-tock? I felt that drug a little bit, but I definitely think it's a necessary episode to get to next week, which looks amazing. We're going to be talking about in a minute. Over in the chat room, let's see. Bobby says 400 sounds about right, and 400 pieces of flair. And then Wynn says 357 pieces of flair because Hatter. Wynn is not a fan of the Mad Hatter. And then Mayor McPangy Pants says 390 pieces of flair, matching my rating exactly. So I agree with you. And Jimbo says 400 pieces of flair is good.
Team 400, woo!
Team 400. All right, so I guess that about does it. Feel free, if you're still in the chat room, to give us your scale. But now, on to the news. News. First up, the ratings. Gotham and Lucifer each scored a 1.1 for Fox, which was, incidentally,
the same that Supergirl got on its premiere on the CW. I just thought we'd point that out because, DC TV podcast, whoop whoop.
Which is interesting because, 1.1 is really good for a CW show. I mean, like it's Flash, really Arrow, they're normally like 0.7, 0.9, somewhere in there.
I was reading somewhere that it makes Supergirl the number 2 show on CW. But
Yeah, next to My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, right?
No, next to Flash.
Oh, I thought it was
it's
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
No, but it was also pointed out that the numbers are significantly lower than when it was on
CBS.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So there's that. I don't know. I actually am quite surprised by how low it did since it had Superman on it. But that's not our show. Our show is Gotham. And
if I remember correctly, Supergirl, it premiered at like a 2.3 or
it premiered at like a 3 and then it dropped in half.
Yeah, because it was Big Bang Theory was its lead-in. And
no, it was just because they really
no, it was. Big Bang Theory was its lead-in, and it was the last episode for a number of weeks of Big Bang Theory. And then it slowly dipped into where at the end of last season it was like around a 1.3 or something. So dipped a little bit from CBS. A lot of interest still there. It's all good in the hood. Check out Supergirl Radio, part of the DC TV podcast network that we're a part of.
Us.
The Derby Kid host. But let's see.
She's not the only host.
She's
the only one that we both.
The host of continuity. But okay, it's time to check out the preview for next week's episode of Gotham.
Amazing.
What is it? Anything for you.
Anything for you.
And this episode looks completely crazy pants. Weird.
Similar to Pengy Pants, but crazy.
Barnes is looking a little normal there. Ed is definitely back at the GCPD, kind of rubbing it in. Zaz is back.
Zaz.
Tabby's on a motorbike.
There is a party going on, and I want invited.
Yes, there's definitely. And the Red Hood Gang is back too.
With some upgrades.
Okay, imagine everything that has ever happened in Gotham so far. It's coming back in this episode, except for maybe Fish Mooney. Maybe.
You never know.
Maybe she'll be under that Red Hood.
If there's a party going on, I feel like Fish is going to be there.
Fish does like a good party, for sure.
A reason to dress up fancy? Totes.
And Bobby says sorry in the chat room. I'm assuming that's sorry for being wrong. It's okay, Bobby. We forgive you.
Oh,
okay. But
Bobby.
Let's see here. If you want to, Anne-Marie.
What?
Why don't you tell them how they can let us know what they thought about next week's episode?
Okay, we would love to hear from you guys. So please send us your emails over at legendsofgotham@gmail.com. Send us some tweets at Legends of Gotham. Join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Legends of Gotham, or leave us our absolutely, totally, 100% favorite voicemails at 424-274-2352. That number again is 424-274-2352.
Some might even say 2352.
I won't, though.
You won't?
I won't. I do not say phone numbers like that.
Well, that's fair. But
somebody else might say it, though.
First up, as always, is Bobby's voicemail. Take it away, Bobby.
Woo! Hey, guys. Bobby here. All right, so this is the
Bobby's like right here.
66 this show has ever been. I know we've talked about the comparison before, but everything about this show screamed it. I mean, they might as well have had goon written across some of those people's chests. I love what they're doing with the Hatter. Of course, with him and his sister, Alice, ew. But I did not expect to see the Tweeds. That was a nice surprise, especially seeing Dumfrey and Diva reimagined as luchador wrestlers. Nice touch. The whole Edward and Oswald thing, I don't think Edward had any ulterior motives. He definitely seemed legitimately surprised when he was declared as chief of staff. Of course, maybe he's a bit jealous of Butch and would like to see him go to the back burner, but that's what it is. It is what it is. I don't think it's any sinister motives. That's the word I'm looking for. Sinister. But I just feel like he was telling Penguin the truth. He wanted him to feel the admiration that he deserved. It's good. I still find it crazy, how much they make you feel for these villains. And I also he's at a very high point right now. So where does he go from here? What makes the Penguin and Riddler become Penguin and Riddler? Where's the fall? And of course, that's therein lies the drama. Okay. The Bruce and Alfred, I love anytime they're on screen together. This episode was no different. I think David is killing it, playing double duty as him and the clone.
Oh, yeah, he has much improved since that first episode where I was a little nervous.
Well, it was probably the first one where he was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, and they're fleshing out the character a bit more, too, so it's nice.
Even in the same scene together when they're talking to each other, it sound if you had the sound down, it sounds like two different people talking to each other. If you had the sound down, if you weren't, you know what I meant. If you weren't watching the video and you just were listening to the sound. Oh, what else did I want to mention? Lee, yeah, you should have waited a few minutes. Come on. It wasn't like he left you hanging for years. I mean, he had to deal too. At this point, I can't even remember. Was he locked up when she went away?
Yes.
I can't remember. Okay, what else did I want to mention? You know what? Oh, if Alice is the only thing keeping the Hatter sane, isn't that what he said? Alice is... you're the only thing keeping me sane. Mm-hmm. If that's the case, then I can't wait to see what Gotham has in store for them. And then the blood thing in the eye. Maybe Bill's right. Maybe he's going to be Solomon Grundy. I could see him lurching around with that limp and all. But then in the scenes for next week, it shows him like he's normal, like he's fine. Because
Bobby, get out of my head.
Like that other guy last week was like, wow, instantly. Anyway, now I'm rambling and I don't have a lot of time. So out of 47, I like that number. Okay, 35 drops of 35 drops of Alice's blood. I'm going to give it 33. There were a few scenes that were a little iffy for me. For the most part, I really love this episode. I really like what they're doing with the season so far.
And he's done. Thank you very much, Bobby. Very much appreciated. Excellent. And I think Bobby keeps getting closer and closer to our start time to send in the voicemails as
he's
a challenge.
He's really trying, yeah.
Which
hence Anne-Marie did contact info today.
That Bobby, if you could wait until 9:20 or so to send in your voicemail, that would make it even more challenging.
It would be just so exciting.
We love you, Bobby. We're just kidding with you. Okay, next up is a letter from Holy Bat Pastor. Holy Bat Pastor says, Bill and Anne-Marie, I hate that I can't be with you and the other gorgeous Gothamites tonight, but I missed last night's newest episode because I was with my girlfriend at the theatrical showing of Batman Return of the Caped Crusaders animated feature. Suffice it to say, I wasn't shirking my Batman duties completely. I have finally seen Gotham's latest episode in the past couple of hours and have yet to watch it enough to adequately discuss it. But I wanted to weigh in on the fascinating direction awaiting Yanni Bruce. Will he be trained as a new Talon? I hope we get to witness that the real Bruce and future Batman actually take tips and cues from his doppelgangster. I love it, doppelgangster. Yet not in terms of ethics and motivation, only in reference to his execution of skill, proficiency, and resistance to pain. By the way, I will confess to being a true Bat nerd. Duh, your Holy Bat Pastor. The scene regarding the power of love and acceptance between Cobblepot and Nigma after the election was clinched was, in a word, moving. I may or may not have teared up. Just don't tell anyone. Happy to catch up with y'all real soon. Love you both very much, Holy Bat Pastor.
Kisses to the Holy Bat Pastor.
And over in the chat room, Bobby says, don't tempt me as far as sending in the late voicemail. Jimbo says Bruce was jealous of Batty Bruce and Selena.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, and Selena is always playing the nurse / seamstress.
Somebody has to.
How did she know what what Bruce's torso looked like?
You know what? I think she actually learned that, though, when Bruce was with her because he sewed somebody up.
Oh, okay.
Remember when he was living with her? And no, it was her coat. He fixed her coat, so he had to have taught her how to sew.
Yeah. Okay, so we have one more, right?
Yeah, we have one from Mike Ellis. Hey, guys. In the middle of last season, I began looking for a podcast for Gotham and tried several, but something just clicked about y'all's.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're clicky.
Since Batman was the first cartoon I ever saw, I have been a Batman fan since I was a kid. A matter of fact, I am a youth pastor. Apparently the pastors love us. And I'm going through a series on superhero, and Batman is coming up. Anyways, I have a theory. I believe since the blood from Alice fell into Captain Barnes' eye, your theory of becoming Solomon Grundy. Also watched Supergirl, and they gave a shout out to Gotham this week. Hi.
Interesting.
When Superman saved a family towards the end, the dad says, "We're moving back to Gotham." Anyway, enjoy the show and can't wait till this week's episode. Mike Ellis. Thank you, Mike.
And as always, you can write us, and you have an extra day next week because we're not recording until Wednesday. We want to hear what you think about next week's episode. So, wipe the blood from your eyes. Email us, legendsofgotham@gmail.com. Tweet us at Legends of Gotham. The Facebook is facebook.com/groups/Legends of Gotham. And the voicemail number is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. Bobby in the chat room says, I can't believe they got Shatner for the follow-up to Return of the Cape Crusaders.
And that's a good transition into our coming show.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you're watching live, we are going to be doing our Universe Box Pop Culture News Show at 10 p.m. EST, Tuesday and Thursday nights. This is Tuesday, obviously. But if you want to stick around in the chat room, you might need to refresh the page. Maybe about 5 minutes after we go dark, I'll have the new video up there. We'd love to have you in the chat for Universe Box. Or you can check it out at universebox.com. Anne-Marie, we would like to thank our chatters, by the way.
Yes, thank you, chatters.
Please join us next Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. EST, and then back to Tuesdays after that.
Yeah, but a little of this and a little of that and a little of this.
Anne-Marie, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at AM DeSimone. Who am I? Or check out my blog, crunchycrafty.com.
As for me, you can follow me on Twitter at Bill Meeks. You can follow all of the podcasts we do at universebox.com. And you can follow this up with a nice shot of rum, because who doesn't like rum, right? Rum. I think that's going to about do it for this week. We're going to be back next week, Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. EST. Remember that, Wednesday.
Wednesday next week. And
an extra day for feedback, an extra day to get in the chat room.
Yeah.
So join us next time for more Legends of Gotham. Oh, legends, huh? Legends of Gotham.
Legendary.
Who is Gotham? Why is he legendary? What? Where? Blood to the eye. Born on a Monday. Don't be creepy with your sister. Yeah. Nice.
Thank you, guys.
Excellent. And Wynn streams on Wednesdays, so she won't be here next week. I hope some people will stick around for Universe Box. We'd love to have you. It's more of the same, and there's a lot of geeky news. We have Power Rangers, Doctor Who, Batman. The New York Comic-Con was this week, so tons of stuff. Let's see here. Okay, so we need to do... What do we need? We need to do episode titles real quick. I have a few options here. Let me find the right screen for it. Okay, here we go. Let me get these in here. All right. So let's see. All right, we have The Ed Penguin Needs, The Hatter's Mad Tea Party, Long Live Batty Bruce, Alice's Blood Drive, 12-Pack of Bodies, Yanni or Batty, and Monster Juice.
Monster Juice.
So you vote Monster Juice?
I vote Monster Juice.
Okay, I vote The Hatter's Mad Tea Party, just because, it's the Mad Hatter, plus that image of Alice we have with her like...
Yeah, pretty much for me.
Feel free to vote in the chat room. We're going to give it about another minute or two, and then we're going to skedaddle. So let's see here. Blood Drive, Alice's Blood Drive, one for Alice's Blood Drive. So we have a 3 for right now. Who will be the tiebreaker? Bum, 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 bum.
Ah!
The Ed Penguin Needs. Now we have a 4 for 4. For 4.
For 4. For 4.
For 4.
For 4.
We need a tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker.
Or we're going to have to pick.
Monster Juice.
Going to give it about 30 more seconds.
Monster Juice.
Monster Juice would be nice because it kind of references Magic Juice, right?
Right. Wrong show, but yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a legacy. It's a legacy of juice.
Take the survey.
Okay, yes, please. bit.ly/UB survey. Let's see. And yeah, definitely check out Wynn's Twitch channel, Talking to
Alice's Blood Drive.
Alice's Blood Drive. So is that it?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. It'll be Alice's Blood Drive. Okay, guys.
We'll be back.
Yeah, just refresh the page in about 2 minutes, and the Universe Box link should be up there. Bye.